Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tuesday Night Live. Hope you guys are having a great evening. There's hopefully some people will show up. There's already 25 people here. Holy cow. I know that Ginger Runner is interviewing Kafuzi right now, and that's probably wrapping up soon. So hopefully a bunch of people show up from that. I was just watching it along with Big's Backyard Ultra, so we'll have a lot to talk about there with that. And oh my gosh, yeah, just in time with the news. But we'll be right back with that in just a second. I'm going to give people a few more minutes to show up, and I'll be right back. All right, everyone, what's up? Thanks for joining. If you notice down here at the bottom, I changed the graphics a little bit for the live stream. Been working on those a little bit recently. Just thought it was time to, I've had the same graphic for, almost 2 years of this live. No, year and a half. It's been almost 2 years, but I've had that graphic, the little triangle over here in the corner, for maybe like a year and a half or so. It's time for an upgrade. So yeah, thank you all for joining. If you would, go ahead and shout out in the comments down below where you're watching from in the live chat, and like what you got going on. Do you have any races that you're training for, or anything that you just finished? We got Stephen McNeil in the house from Midland, Texas, training for the Franklin Mountain 100K next month. That is awesome. Man, I've heard some good things about Texas trails, and I want to go check them out soon. Mandy's here. Happy Tuesday evening from Madison, Wisconsin. And then Justin Turnbow with the news. Good evening, everyone from Tulsa. Congratulations. Harvey Lewis just won Big's Backyard Ultra. I've been watching that like crazy for the last 4 days. What was it? We were up to like 85 hours, something like that. I don't want to quote it. It's the live stream on Facebook is like kind of hard to follow sometimes, but they're doing an amazing job live streaming that out, and that was just that was awesome. But yeah, we'll talk about that here pretty soon. We got Stephen McNeil said, just saw your IT100 story video. There are a few things that humble you more than 100. Yeah. Awesome. Aaron Townsend, thank you for the super chat. Let's throw that up on the screen here. Thank you so much for all the quality content and real world advice. 4 days until Cactus Rose 100 Mile in Bandera, and I will take a lot from what I've learned on this channel into the race. That's awesome. Seriously, good luck on that. Good luck to you, Aaron. That's going to be Bandera. That sounds like a cool place. From what I have seen from some of the races that are going on there. Let's see what else. Good luck in your 100 miler though. Sandy Garcia's here. What's up, Sandy? Yeah, Nicholas says, what an amazing finish at Biggs. Huge congratulations to Harvey Lewis. That's awesome. Alex Williams is here. What's up, everyone watching from Beckley, West Virginia? How's it going, Ryan? Thanks. And we got another super chat. What is up? Thank you, Sandy. Sandy Garcia in the house with the super chat. Thank you so much. That's awesome. She says, "Hi Ryan from Fort Wayne, get over an injury and go back to Chain of Lakes." Yes, that's the plan. I am like, I want to go back there so bad. I want to get over this. Injury and get back there. I want to go. 354. Justin says 354 miles. That is absolutely insane. So if you guys don't know what a backyard ultra is, we'll kind of explain that here. And funny enough, I guess I can kind of announce it now. Me and my good friend Matt Cantrell are in the process of starting one, like planning one out, and it's mainly Matt's baby. It's mainly his race, and I'm just kind of helping with support and just some other stuff. But we've been talking back and forth, and he's got a location set up for a backyard ultra here in Indiana, and it's going to be on ultra sign up soon. But the format for a backyard ultra is that it has to be 4.1-ish miles. There's an exact, it's like 6,000 something meters, something like that. I'll actually look up the exact measurements, but you've got 4.1 ish mile loops, and you start on the hour every hour, and you have to complete the loop and then start the next loop to stay in the race. It's 4.167 or 6,706 meters in less than an hour. So it doesn't sound that hard, right? Like you can jog a lot of that. You can run some of it if you want. But when you start stacking those hours up on top of each other, it becomes really, really hard. Like I said several times on this show, I've done a backyard ultra before over in Illinois, and it was an absolute blast. That one was on trails, and it's just crazy, like on your mind, like it's so wild. Like what goes through your head when you're out there on that, because there's a huge strategy involved, and you kind of change your strategy as you go. We saw a lot of these men and women that were running bigs over the last 4 days, changing their strategies up as they go. But you can say, like, I want to run it fast, and then I want to come back and have a lot of time to rest. Or you can say, I'm going to take my time and really go easy and walk quite a bit, and then have just a short amount of time to rest before I have to start the next loop. It's actually called yards. That's what they call it, because the backyard, it's a yard. You run around the yard. That's kind of just what it's called. Bigs, and there's a couple others like around the world that get like really, really long. But yeah, it's just crazy. So the one that we're planning is going to be called, and Laz actually came up with this name for us. It's going to be called Grind on the Grid. And it's going to be at this really, really cool location. And in order to have it at this place, a lot of it's going to be on like gravel roads, and then some of it's going to be on trail as well. So it's going to be just like, it's going to be crazy. Like seriously, this is going to be like, it's going to be nuts, like trying to pull this off. It's going to be in April, and it'll be on ultra sign up soon. So anybody in the Midwest that wants to come out and try our race, Grind on the Grid. We're also looking for sponsors and stuff now. So if anyone from like a nutrition company or shoe company is watching this and wants to help sponsor our race, reach out. Matthew DeLuca says, happy Wednesday from Australia. Had Stromlo 50K delayed from November to March. Oh, that's unfortunate. Good luck training through the winter, though. Actually, in Australia, it's more like summer weather that you'll be training through, I guess. So good luck with that. Christy Wiley's here. Just finished virtual Boston Marathon and training for Philly Marathon November 21st. That's awesome. Congrats on the virtual Boston Marathon. That's so cool. And then good luck at Philly. Stephen McNeil says the trail community is the best of the best. It really is. And it was crazy to see just like how amazing the community was, like down there at Biggs, like just watching the live stream, just so cool. I love jogging, says hi from Kansas, 24-hour run in less than a month. That's awesome. Good luck there. Tim Watson is from Sydney, Australia. First ultra in March next year, 50K. Nice. Nicholas Boldner's from Pennsylvania, training for the Tussey Mountain Back 50 miler in 2 weeks. Sweet. Brian Steinberg runs too much. Grand Rapids Marathon last weekend. Pacing Ann Arbor Marathon next weekend. Sweet. And Eric, sorry I missed you. Watching from San Diego, tapering for the Javelina 100, my first 100 miler. That's going to be cool, man. Good luck at Javelina. That's a race that I think I've said it a couple times, but would really, really love to head out to that race one day. Once everything like kind of calms down, that'd be really sweet to get out there for that. Oliver says, hey, from Transu, 50K in 16 days, my first ultra. The taper has begun and really appreciate all the advice sharing about your most recent taper. Really gives great insight and confidence. Awesome. 16 days. So you have, you're like right in that like kind of like zone where you're hopefully you're starting to recover a little bit, and you're going to be like you're probably feeling still kind of bad right now because of your heavy training, but pretty soon you're going to start to feel good. But things are going to get crazy. Like things in your head are going to get crazy. Like you're going to start thinking that you're like losing all your fitness, but don't worry. Just stick to the plan. The taper works. That's why people try it, because it works. But yeah, like my experience with tapering has always been it gets really weird. And it's so like, it's nice, but it's also like really frustrating at the same time. It's just, like I said, it's just a really weird time because your body is like recovering. And so you start to feel really good. And you're used to all this like really heavy training, and you just want to get back out at it. But you just need to just stay the course, just stay, eat well, try to sleep well. That's one thing that I am going to definitely do different next time, is try to get more sleep. My sleep was like normal during my taper, but I think I need to try to increase my sleep in order to, just see some extra benefits from it. But good luck, Oliver. That's cool. Good luck at your 50K. Justin Turnbow says, by the way, congrats on your runner finishing Pumpkin Holler 100. I worked at an aid station. He looked great, very tired, so his name eludes me, but congrats. Yeah, that is awesome. Pumpkin Holler 100. Bentley is Odin's. Have you done the running Saskatchewan's hilliest race, Beaver Flat 50? Looks like a good run. I have not. That'd be fun to do the hilliest race. Heavy Set Ghost says, I'll be ready to smash my very first 50K ultra in May or June of 2022 after starting my weight loss journey. 372 pounds last year. Any advice, any suggested 50K races for a first timer? Man, that's so cool. I would say like for a first timer, like a 50K race, just pick something. And I always say this, like for people picking their first race of any distance, is pick something that really, really excites you. Because, like some people might say pick something that maybe is a little easier or something, but in my mind, it's going to take a lot of training and there's a lot of stress that is involved leading up to a race. So pick something that really excites you. And if it's a really hard one, fine. If it's a really easy one, fine. Or not easy. Nothing's really easy, but like on the scale, you know. But I would say pick something that you've been looking at for a while that's like really intriguing, really excites you, because that's what's going to get you out the door to train. That's what's going to get you through those stressful few weeks like leading up to the race while you're tapering. It's just, yeah, it's gonna really pay off in the long run if you're really excited about your race. Eric Burton says, what's the next race you plan on running? That's a good question. Right now, I'm just, I'm trying to make sure that I do everything I can to recover as quick as I can so I can get back out and train again. And so recently, like today was a really good run, really good progress. I'll just fill you guys in on what's been going on recently. As far as let's see, I don't know if pulling up Strava might help. But I've been really active since the race, but it's been a lot of like maintenance. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get this to work. Pull up my Strava, whatever you call it, training log. So here we go. This is my Strava training log. And so if we scroll down to race week, we see this is my Indiana Trail 100 DNF. Did not go the way I was planned. And then took a full week of no real running. This was like a little walk here, but like a lot of active recovery, yoga, stretching, functional strength. Ran a couple, and then ran once a week after the race. Yeah, some of these are like just walks and stuff. But and then really there's been 3 runs since the race, and the best one was today. And that was the one where, I mean, I only went 3 miles, but I was able to run without a knee brace for the whole time. My first 2 runs, I started without a knee brace, but I had it with me. And then like a mile or so in, I could feel some weirdness in my knee. And so I would like put it on to finish the run. And then today was the first time that I did a little over 3 miles without, and I didn't feel like I needed to put the knee brace on at all the whole time, which was awesome. It was really, really encouraging. And in fact, the last mile, I actually started to feel really good. Like I started to feel like I was running well. So that was awesome. Just really, really encouraging. So tomorrow, I'll probably take tomorrow off because I ran 2 days in a row. Take tomorrow off and then try to get to this weekend feeling like really, really good. Like hopefully no more pain until the weekend. And then maybe on like Saturday or something, I might try like 7 or 8 miles or something. See how that goes. Like maybe like an hour run, something like that, and see how the knee handles that. And then after that, it's just going to be like completely based on feel. There is like, if things continue to go right, there's a race at the beginning of December that I would love to jump into, Jackson County 50K or 50 miler. But that's like only if from here on out I don't feel any pain. If I do a run in between now and then where I'm feeling some sort of pain, I'm not signing up for that race. And that's the kind of race where you can sign up. It's a local race. Like you can sign up 2 days before the race. So I'll just kind of wait and see how that goes. But yeah, it's been a very, very weird time. Like honestly, since the race, just like a lot of really down moments, like just like processing through all my thoughts and feelings and emotions and everything. There's been a lot of negative thoughts, just a lot of frustration, anger, but really trying to focus on the positives that came out of the race, really trying to focus on a lot of my training. And what I've been doing is kind of like what we just did, like on Strava. Like I just open it up and I'll just scroll through it and look at the last couple of training blocks I had, because there are so many positives that I can pull out of that can help me as I get into this next training block for whatever race I decide to jump into next. And like, if I do a race here in like December, like I'm talking about this 50K or 50 miler at the beginning of December, it's not going to be a race where I'm going to go out and try and like perform really well. It's just going to be something where I'm trying to like knock the DNF rust off my legs, just go and just finish a race. So I can, get into training for next year and, not have that kind of like hanging on me. But then as far as like next year goes, I'm really excited to start thinking about that. I've really forced myself not to think about like anything in 2022, because I've been so focused on this race, Indiana Trail 100. I would really love to go back to it next year, if things in the fall work out. I love racing in the fall. The weather is like perfect in the Midwest for racing, unless it rains. But it's awesome. I would love to try and pick like kind of like an early season race as well, to focus on through the winter, because that really helped me training for Cool Jewel in May, especially now that I've got a treadmill. Like I have no excuse not to like train hard through the winter. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, as far as like what race am I planning on next, I don't really have anything that I'm like really targeting. I have this in Notion, I have this massive like spreadsheet of all these races that I've been keeping track of for like the last like 5 or 6 years. And kind of like what I love doing during the like November, December is kind of like going over that and kind of like ranking races again, like, oh, what's piquing my interest now? And really trying to see, like, just kind of like go over that again every year. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I love doing that. Also, for sure, I'm entering the Hard Rock and Western States lotteries. That's absolutely, yes, I'm doing that. I believe both of those are like start early November. I think Hard Rock is like the first 2 weeks in November, and I think Western States, like to enter it, is also first 2 weeks in November. I don't know. And then both of the lotteries are like sometime before Christmas. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Hard Rock, it's like such a low chance. It always is. I mean, because for me, I'm competing with like probably like 2,000 or maybe 3,000 people now for like 75 spots. So the chance of being selected for that is like just absolutely tiny. And then Western States, I have a lot better chance, just because this will be, I think, the 4th consecutive lottery I've entered, because we missed one. Actually missed 2. No, we missed 1 because of the pandemic. But yeah, so a lot better chance there. But Ronald Winkler says, what type of fitness level do you think I should be at before my first 50K? Thanks, Ryan. Interesting question. I would say, like, before your first 50K, if you can go out and run, like, in a training run, if you can pull off a 20 miler, you're probably ready to, you're probably ready to finish a 50K. I mean, definitely if you've done a marathon before, you can definitely pull off a 50K, especially if it's a trail race, because there's going to be a lot of hiking. You're not going to be running the whole time. There's going to be aid stations. You're going to have a lot of support along the way. But if as long as you can pull off like a 20 miler, I think you'd be fine jumping in a 50K race. It's going to be hard, but yeah, it's going to be, you'll be fine. Mango Runner, what's up? Happy Tuesday from South Carolina. Got Sadler's Creek 30 hour in 3 weeks. Not sure I'll be ready, but we'll see. A 30-hour race. Nice. That's going to be quite a bit longer than you were out at IT 100. Also, if you put any of that video footage online, I'd love to see it. Cause that would be a cool other perspective of the race. Mango Runner had a GoPro at Indiana Trail 100. Dallin Rick says, checking in from Lubbock, Texas, 4 days until my Spartan beast down in Dallas. Awesome. Good luck at that. That's going to be fun. Eric Burton says, when training for ultra, what is more beneficial, time on legs or a specific weekly distance goal? So those are very, very similar. I think you're going to see it, and it also kind of depends on what your goals are for the race. If your goal is you're training for, like, it's also very race specific. So if you're training for a mountain 100-miler and it's your first one, you're going to need a lot of miles. You're going to need a lot of time on your feet, but probably time on feet is going to benefit you a lot. And that's kind of like active. I mean, active, like, so like hiking, a lot of walking, a lot of that type of stuff. But if you're going for just sheer miles ran, like, that might not help you as much during training for a mountain 100-miler, because you're not going to be running a ton of it. So, but vice versa, if you're training for like Tunnel Hill 100-miler that's coming up here in a couple weeks, maybe you would want to shoot more for sheer volume of miles, because that course is really runnable. It's like pancake flat, crushed gravel trails. So, you'll be able to get through it a lot quicker, and you will want to run more of it. So I think they're very, very similar goals. And so, if you're training for something you've never done before, like, you're going to need a lot. You're going to need a lot of volume, a lot of miles, a lot of time on feet. Matt's Midwest team says, glad to see you're able to run again. I'm going to go out tomorrow for my first time as my knee is feeling good. I've been missing it for sure. Awesome. So me and Matt fell at the exact same spot, it sounds like. And his knee was a little messed up too. So glad to hear that your knee is feeling all right. I hope you've been doing plenty of PT, stretching, all that sort of stuff, because that'll help speed it along. What else we got? Aaron Townsend said, if you're wanting to run a 100-mile PR time, Rocky Raccoon in February is a fun one. I've heard of that. I actually have a couple friends from Indiana who have ran it. I've heard that it's a really good race. I've heard that it's really lots of routes you have to watch out for. But that would be cool. I wonder what it would be like to train for a race like that early in the year. That could be fun. The problem is honestly, the problem with me doing more races is my work schedule. Like, since I work full time during the week and then I'm contracted on the weekends, I'm actually, like, it's really hard to take time off. Especially for races that start on a Saturday and are going to take like 24 hours or more sometimes. Like, if all I wanted to do was marathons, I'd be set. But since I like these dumb 100-milers, I have to be gone the whole weekend. It's annoying. Stephen McNeil says, Rocky Raccoon 100 is awesome. I have 11 finishes, and I'm signed up to run number 12 in February. Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. Ronald says, thanks, very helpful. I've done 2 20-milers the past 2 weekends. So yeah, if you've been able to do 20-milers over the past couple weekends, you're set. Like, as far as, I mean, again, like, the 50K is not going to be easy, but you have like that long distance, kind of like mental side and physical side that you can rely on with that experience. I'm working on IT 100 race video. I'm slow editing, so should have it up by this week though. Awesome. Send me the link when it's up, man. Love to check it out. Eric says, best website for finding ultra races. Definitely ultrasignup.com. Check it out. There's going to be a new Indiana race on there very soon. That I'm helping out with. So that's going to be really fun. Keep, what's the date? If you're in the Midwest, keep the date of April 2nd open. And then maybe the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th, if you plan on running more than 100 miles, at our race. For those of you that are joining late, there's going to be a new backyard ultra in Indiana, April 2nd. On ultra sign up soon. John Truelove says the Hoke crew will be running Tunnel Hill in a few weeks. That's awesome. You're crazy, man. Crazy. But that's going to be really cool. Zach Fairchild says, would you ever consider running a 100-mile road ultra? Maybe someday, but I'm still fairly new to this sport. I consider myself new. Like 5 years ago was my first 100-miler. So I still have a lot of learning to do about my own running and about myself and about the pain cave. And I do train mostly on the roads just because that's what's convenient for me. I don't have any trails that are like within, I mean, I guess the closest trail system is maybe a couple miles away from my house. So, and it's only like a 2-mile loop. So it's, I have to drive anywhere that I can get some decent distance, on trails. So for convenience, most of my weekly runs are on the roads, which is fine. I enjoy it. Like it's quick and everything, but I've done a road marathon before, and I think that's the farthest I've ever ran on roads is a marathon. So the thought of doing a road 100-miler is just like, that's like, it sounds cool kind of, but I'm not ready for that yet. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, it definitely intrigues me because of like how hard it would be. But at the same time, yeah, I'll keep running trail ultras for a while until one pops up maybe that I have to go do. Justin Turnbow says Ultra Runner Magazine does well at keeping up with all the distances. I thought that was a question about something. I think that was a comment from something earlier. Let's see. Jackie J says, I haven't ran in 13 days because of an injury. Had to skip out on my first 50K last weekend. Was so heartbroken and mad at my injury, but I'm healing and will be back out there soon. I feel your pain, Jackie. That's, yeah, 13 days it feels like a long time, but in the grand scheme of everything, just know that's a really short time to be on the sideline. I know it sucks right now, but just give your body time to heal and you'll be back. I mean, I like 2019, I took 3 full months off from running, twice, like right at the beginning of the year and then once in the middle of the year. So that was my lowest volume running, like since I started running like 10 years ago, maybe not. I have to go check Training Peaks actually, but, definitely within the last like 6 to 7 years, that was my lowest volume ever because I took almost 6 full months off from running due to injuries. And the first one was kind of dumb. It was a little ill-advised. The first 3-month break, I was dealing with plantar fasciitis, and I had gone to like a chiropractor and I'd gone to a physical therapist for it, and one doctor that wasn't great. And some of the advice I was getting from them was just to rest for like a long time. And so it was like middle of winter. And so I was like, I'm cool with that. Like, I hate running in the snow anyway. So like, I'll just really rest. And so I didn't run for like 3 months and then started slowly getting back into it. And the plantar fasciitis came right back. So it was like complete waste, in my opinion, about myself. And then a few months later was when I started training for the Midwest Super Slam, which was, I'll do that someday. But I was not in the right place. I was not ready for that when I tried it, and ended up accidentally getting hurt, and then had to take another like almost 3 months off to like really allow a really bad ankle injury to heal. So even though I had that year where almost half of it I didn't run, like now it's like, I mean, it was just a little blip on the radar or a little blip on the timeline. So Jackie, what I would say to you is, just let your body heal. Try not to be mad at the injury, and just rest, and you'll be back out there in no time. You probably don't have to take 3 months off like I did. James Odell says, how much cross training do you do? Alternative cardio lifting. That's a good thing that I did want to talk about tonight. So, especially over the last couple weeks, since the IT100, I've been doing a lot of extra stuff other than running. A lot of stretching, a lot of stability exercises, some weight stuff, I have, it's not within arm's reach, I don't think. But yeah, I have these, they're like stretch cords with handles, and you can do a lot of stuff with them. You can, there's like a Velcro strap for your foot, and you can connect it to a door, and you can do all this stuff. But I've been doing a lot of that. And so, in the past, it really depends on what type of a race I'm training for. And it also depends on like what my volume is that I'm running, currently. And I usually get like one sort of, like 30-minute to 45-minute stability session in per week, where I'm just mostly focusing on, like balance, hips, glutes, trying to keep everything kind of in order. but not a whole lot, not like heavy lifting or anything like that. And that's kind of like the minimum. And I would definitely prefer to do more, and I encourage people to do more. But you also have to do what works for your schedule and everything. And so for me, that's just kind of like what works for me. In the past, when I've been training for more like a more of a mountain race, I do more of that type of cross training because it's going to be that race is going to be a lot rougher on your legs, and you're going to be doing a lot of climbing, a lot of descending. So yeah, I would add like a session or two. But yeah, recently, the past couple weeks, just been doing like 3 times a day stretching, just trying to make sure that I am keeping this chain loose, like whatever's going on with my leg, whether the IT band got aggravated or whether there was something else in the knee that got aggravated. I just want to make sure that there's the least amount of tension on it as possible. So a lot of stretching throughout my leg. Also trying to stretch out my calves a lot, so that hopefully maybe the plantar fasciitis won't be as bad when I start running again. But if it is, that's what it is. I can live with it. I've been living with it for years. And then like a lot of so stability exercises, like weight bearing on one leg, type of squats, leg lifts, working with a band, that sort of stuff. So, but as far as like heavy weights, I don't do any of that. I have a 25-pound kettlebell that I do use for some stuff, but that's the only weight I ever use. Dallin Rick says, run Badwater. Yeah, that's like the one. That's like the only one that I would be like, maybe like that interests me because of everything else around it and the area, the heat, all of that is like just fascinating to me. But yeah, that's probably not gonna ever happen. Who knows? Maybe it will. Zach Fairchild says, Lighthouse 100 in Michigan. I actually have a couple friends that did that race. D. Anna H says, just joining, hope your knee's better. Did you hear Sage and Sandy's home burned in a big fire overnight? It's completely gone. No, I did not. That's very sad. Wow, I hope they're okay. And I hope everyone's okay with that. That's very sad. Sorry to hear that for them. Jackie J says, thank you. I learned my lesson. No speed work on a supposed to be easy pace long run. Strained a glute muscle. Oops. Oh, yeah. I've actually done that before. So I have strained different things here and there from speed work. And it's one of those things where it's like you just really have to ease into that kind of stuff. And the reason why a lot of people say do strides, once or twice a week, is to keep that kind of like muscle memory in there. Because if you haven't done any speed work or you haven't done any like tempo runs or anything in a long time, and then you just try to pull one off, there is a chance for like some sort of injury there. It's happened to me, where I'll just like strain something and then it's just aggravated for a week or two, and like everything kind of stinks during that time. But yeah, if you can do strides like once or twice a week, and that's like 15 seconds at the end of a run, just like sprint for 15 seconds or something, like once or twice. If you can keep that going, you can that'll really help. But then also just like, if you are trying to get into speed work, just like slowly introduce it. Just like on a run, do like a quarter mile interval maybe like 2 or 3 times of a speed just a little bit faster than what you're typically running for an easy run, and then the next time you do some speed work, maybe make it, like 30 seconds faster. And then the next time bump it up to a half-mile interval. So just like really like introduce speed work slowly into your schedule. But yeah, everyone, we all should be doing speed work because it's, there's so many benefits that can come from it. Yo from Avon Lake, Ohio. Hope you're feeling good. Great recap video. I appreciate seeing you dealing with the unlucky circumstance. Really inspiring. Wow, that's awesome. I learned from your experience. Keep crushing, dude. And that's cool. Like, thank you, Lou. And thank you to everyone that has commented on that video. Like, that was one where, I don't know, like that was just really hard. That was just really hard to make. First of all, it was really hard to pull the camera out during those moments. That was the last thing I wanted to do, was film myself in a rough patch. But what I did during that moment is I pulled it out and I was like, this probably won't go in the video, but I just want to remember what I felt like during this time. And so I filmed myself a couple times throughout it. And that's how I got the camera out. And then once I got home and I was watching it and everything, again, it was really hard to watch it. And really hard to decide like what to include, because it's like, there's going to be a lot of people that are like this is silly. Like, this is stupid. Like, whatever. Think things of me or whatever. But at the same time, it's kind of like that's what's real. And that's like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of content out there. And Instagram is really the worst offender of this. But then Facebook too, YouTube as well, where people only post the best stuff. And you take 500 pictures of yourself and you post the one that you look the best in, or, whatever. Like, you can, like, everyone knows this. And I just kept like thinking to myself, like, I don't really like that. Like, so I'm going to post what's real. And then even like right before it went live, I was like, I should stop this. I should edit that out. But I just let it go, and have had a lot of really positive responses. So thank you everyone, who has watched that and, responded positively to it, because that means a lot. I know there's a lot of people that are probably like, oh, this is silly. Like, why are you getting so upset over a silly race? Or, also went through my mind is, what if people think I'm like acting, like for the views, and that's really sick. Like, if I'm doing that, like that's messed up. But those thoughts go through your head. But yeah. So anyway, thank you to everyone, that watched it and liked it. Let's see. D. Anna H says, Cocodona. Ryan, go do it. Hope to get down there for 2022 events and volunteer. Yeah, once I heard about that race and saw that race, I was like, man, like that could really, like, I would really love to like do a race in Arizona. And that would be a really cool, like, first 200 miler. But, yeah, I'm not ready for 200 milers at this point. Do probably a couple more hundreds, and then maybe try and pull off a 200. But those are like, so like you gotta invest so much time and so much money into pulling one of those off. Let's see. Nick says, newish runner here, started upping my miles from 10 to around 18 to 20 for my 10K training. It's been killing me, but loving it. That's awesome, Nick. Congratulations. yeah, anytime you increase your mileage, there's a lot of, like, you can build a lot of confidence from that. Definitely keep it up, man. 10K training, get it done. Nicholas says, Ryan, do you feel like you learned anything about self-talk during an ultra, as someone who vlogs this stuff? That's an interesting question. I guess probably, yeah. I don't know if I've ever like identified that, but I know that there is, yeah, I mean, when you're talking to a camera or talking to yourself, there is some motivation that can come from that, and some, some positive emotions sometimes. So I guess, yeah, like I've never identified that, but it's probably happening behind underneath the surface. Justin says, being transparent is why I love watching. Those who are negative about it have never strived and failed. Yeah, that's a good point as well. And I keep going back to, I'm blanking on who had the quote. Someone will be able to put it in the comments, but it's the quote about being in the arena, the man in the arena. And like, when you step in there and you're in there, like what you did, that you gave it everything. And anybody else that tries to comment on it is just noise, and it just doesn't matter, but it's also hard hearing that stuff sometimes. But yeah, thank you so much, Justin. Lance says, is that the Vertex 2? Yes, it is. It is the Vertex 2. I don't know if this view will be any better. Not really. Too far away. I should have had that camera like right here, so I can zoom in on it. But yeah, this is a Vertex 2. They just sent it out to me, and I've got a couple weeks with it before I have to send it back. And I told him, I was like, I just did my last big race of the year. But who knows? Maybe I'll get some good training with it. I did my first run with it today. It's nice. Like, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it yet. Aside from, I mean, it's like, the screen is nice. It's bigger, better than the original Vertex. Battery life is obviously ridiculous, but at this point, there's a lot of watches out there that have really good battery life. Oh wait, you actually had a question in there. Anyway, to actually stop recording a run without holding the pause to unlock, then hitting pause. Yeah, so that's a setting. You can turn that off. It's on by default because of the way the digital crown. So what he's talking about is, with the Vertex 2, if you just press it, it just shows you a lock icon, but you have to long press it to unlock it, and then you can like start doing whatever you need to do. And the reason it's like that is because on the original Vertex, it was by default, the lock was off, and like, I would always hit it just by bending my wrist, just like this. And I just did it again. But actually, during the No Business 100, my Vertex paused probably 5 or 6 times for maybe, who knows, maybe a minute or two. I don't know exactly, because what would happen is every time I would reach in my pack to get something, or a lot of times, like if I was, like standing up from a chair or something like that, like it would just pause. And in the middle of a race, you don't always hear the beep. You don't know it's paused, and then you look down and all of a sudden you see your watch is paused, and you're like, what in the world? So that's actually a feature that they updated for the Vertex 2. And now it's by default, this button is always locked, so you can't do anything with it. And I like that, although it is kind of annoying that you have to like hold it to stop your run. But I do believe I believe it's a feature you can turn off in the settings somewhere. because I was able to turn it on the Vertex, the original Vertex. But yeah, that's one of the design things that is just like not great about the Koros. There's a lot of design things that I would change, but that being the start stop is definitely one of them. I mean, it could be there's only 3 buttons, but it could be any of the other ones. That's start stop, but it has to be that one that you always hit when you bend your wrist like that. See, it keeps doing it now that it's unlocked. Like it has to sit for I think 30 seconds before it locks again. Anyway, yeah, I'll have a video on it soon, and then I'll do a video like comparing it to the Enduro, because that's like the closest competitor, the Garmin Enduro. Dallenrick says, I love how you share your highs and lows. Reminds me that I am normal even when I have highs and lows. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. I think that that's why sometimes some of these, like, there's some YouTube channels that I do like, but just can't get too into them because they're just so, like, it's only the good stuff, or it's so positive, and it's just like I want something real. Like, I don't know, I should stop. Seatown fan says, have you had any bad falls? Yes, I've had several really bad falls. Most recently at IT 100. My worst fall I've ever had running was at the Mohican 100, and I tore cartilage in my ankle, and that was the worst one. Eric Burton says, what are your thoughts on MAF training? I think that it is a really good place to start. Definitely not something that you can do forever. I mean, you could, obviously, like, it's running at some point, like, running is, even if you're doing all your running at MAF, like, you're still going to be benefiting yourself, training for racing or just staying healthy. But if you want to, it's like a really, really great place to start when you're like coming off the couch, or maybe you started running later in life, or you just don't know what to do. MAF is super simple. And for those that don't know, it's basically like you take 180 minus your age, and then that is the heart rate that you should shoot for. So if you're 30 years old, 180 minus your age is 150, and then you give yourself 5 beats on either side, and that's kind of the 10 beat window that you shoot for. And that's like your go all day, everyday training zone. And for someone coming off the couch, or if you've never trained before, you've never run before, that's going to be really hard to stay in that range. You're going to go over all the time, because you're just not efficient at running yet. But the point is to get in that zone, and then as soon as you go over, back off a little bit. Maybe you have to walk a lot. But you're going to start becoming more efficient over time, and over a long period of time, you're going to become very efficient at that heart rate, and you're going to be able to start running really fast at that heart rate. But it might take years. And so that's where it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's really easy to start. It's really easy to follow, but it's really hard to continue long term. And that's where it's like, so I do recommend it for some people, but you have to be really committed, and you have to be in it for the long haul. Because when I've been a runner pretty much my whole life. Like in grade school, like I would run the mile, and then I played soccer all through high school, and then started running basically like running for fun, kind of after college. So I like had a history of running, so I kind of knew how to run. But even when I started training at MAF, training with MAF, I had to like super back off my pace. And I remember sometimes some runs I was running like 12-minute miles towards the beginning, just trying to keep my heart rate down because I was so inefficient at running, like when I was like years ago. But I kept with it, and over the course of like 6 to 8 months, was able to, like, you start seeing gains like pretty quickly. But within a couple months, like I had dropped that time down to like maybe 9 minutes a mile, and I could run for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours at like 9 minutes a mile and keep my heart rate right there. So it's really good for people that want something simple and are going to be able to stick with it. But if you want to be challenged, if you want variety, I would suggest getting a coach or like reading a book or something that's going to give you some other options besides that. But it's really good. I mean, it works. It's just not the end all. Oh yeah, Justin Turnbow says, the arena, Theodore Roosevelt, and the buckle cam before we leave, please. Yeah, let's do it. Buckle cam. Why not? There it is. That's the buckle cam. We've got all my buckles from the past 5 races I've done, and a lot of dust on there. Oh my gosh, I need to clean that. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. I need to dust that off back there. That's right there. Thanks, Justin. Deanna H says, glad you filmed the really hard moments. Could definitely tell you weren't acting and you wouldn't do that anyway. Oh, thank you. You're authentic, and that's the reason why I watch your channel. Thank you so much. That's really good to hear because, yeah, I mean, I don't know what people think. Honestly, it doesn't matter, but sometimes that still goes through your head. And then Seatown Fan says you need to, yes, so he's talking about MAF. You definitely would want to, use a chest heart rate strap monitor because that's going to be the most accurate. If you're wearing a watch like this that has a heart rate sensor on the back, some of them are better than others. I've had a lot better accuracy with Polar watches. Not a whole lot of people have Polar watches though, because there's a lot of things that they are getting outpaced by other brands currently. But they do have probably some of the best heart rate monitors in a watch. Garmin's also pretty good. Coros historically has not worked very well for me, and I know a lot of people that have had really bad luck with the heart rate monitors that Coros puts in their watches. So I'm going to be doing a lot of testing to see if the Vertex 2 is any different. But yeah, you're not going to get as good accuracy from a wrist-based sensor. It's going to be good enough for a lot of stuff, but if you're really trying to be critical with your training and if you're trying to train by MAF, you want a chest strap. Or they do make armbands now that kind of like go up here that have like an optical sensor on them that's a lot more accurate than at your wrist. The wrist is just a really hard place to take a measurement at. Yeah. And training with a chest strap is not bad. I did that for years and years and years in triathlon before they had heart rate monitors and watches. It wasn't even an option. I know a lot of people can identify with that. But there's a lot of people that are new to the sport that maybe you didn't know that watches used to not have heart rate monitors in them. Justin says, thank you, now we'll sleep well. Baha. Yeah, thanks, Justin. Christy Wiley says, yay, buckle cam. Deanna H says, I had to stop training due to injuries. I'm starting to run, walk, interval training now. I'm a baby boomer. Can you recommend any good running books for someone like me off the top of your... Yeah. So I would say like some good books. I mean, it kind of depends what you're interested in, but for me, Hal Corner did a really good book. I think it's called like The Ultimate Field Guide to Ultra Running or something. That one was a really fun read. What else we got? Yeah, I don't have any on that shelf. That really for like, now if you want something that's like gets a lot more in depth, Jason Koop has a book called The Essential Ultra Running Training Essentials for Ultra Running. And that's one I would recommend if you want to know kind of like probably one of the most or more sought after ultra running coaches out there right now. Jason Koop, pick up his book if you want to learn about training. But yet, if you want something like an easier read, there's just kind of like all things trail running and ultra running that'll teach you about packs, a little bit about nutrition, a little bit about keeping your feet, like maintenance, a little bit about running in the mountains, bad weather. Pick up Hal Corner's book. It's a really good one. Seatown Fan said Jack Daniels' book is great. Yeah, that's great. If you want to run marathons or a 10K or something, Jack Daniels has good books. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Justin says that Koop's book has been re-released. I did hear that. I think I saw that in an Instagram story or something, and he's recording it for Audible or some audio service, too. That'll be fun. See what he has to say about that. But, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This was great. We had a lot of good talk. I'm glad some of you, if any of you came over from Ginger Runner's channel where he was interviewing Mike, I interviewed him a while back. You can check the live stream playlist on my channel if you want to see that interview where I hung out with Mike for a while right after we were both out at Western States. I'll try and link that maybe like somewhere around here or in the notes down below. So, but that's it. Thank you guys for stopping by on this, as always, awesome Tuesday Night Live. I will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.